So again, this is Dr. Chris Banning. I'm with Aaron
Hello.
Lindsay, and he's helping facilitate these podcasts. So I'm really glad I'm here today. I thought we were meeting at 12. So I was at the gym, and my wife Sue drives by and she says, "Aaron's car is at the office, and you're not there. You have something going on?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm exercising."
I'm on bench press.
Yeah. Anyhow, so
I'm going to start sending you reminders the day before.
Yes. Anyhow, I'm glad to be here. So I'm kind of sweaty with my shirt on and so forth. But so I wanted to review real briefly what we talked about in our last podcast, and we talked about inflammaging.
Mm-hmm. I learned new words.
Yes, we talked about prolonged stress. We talked about how our body responds to stress. Our body is incredible at adapting. And you might think that's awesome, but in many cases it's not.
Right.
If you sit every day for 40 hours a day, your body will adapt.
That's a long day right there.
Yeah. So how will your body adapt? You lose your ability to stand in an upright position and pull your head back. I don't think, probably.
Hey, you may have cut your head off.
I know. I ain't got no body. So those are ways that your body adapts, and it adapts to different stressors. There's physical stressors, which would be stress over time leads to degenerative changes, altered posture, which increases stress on your nervous system, which is why chiropractors are so helpful, which is also why evaluating your stress and doing exercises to improve your posture is very beneficial. And that's a whole different discussion. But we also talked about chemical stresses, people that work in environments that are full of chemistry. Like the hairdresser has the physical stressors, they have the chemical stressors,
Right.
and then emotional, because everybody's got them.
That's right.
You know, and then this fourth stressor that's coming around, it's going to hit us pretty good. It's called the radiation factor with 5G. And we have so many things that can stress us now. And so we talked about how genetics loads the gun. In other words, what's your genetics, your family genetics?
Well, good.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Did you guys do a lot of good breeding and stuff?
We must have.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, mine is okay, but we have a genetic predisposition towards heart disease, diabetes, and depression. And so,
We got depression in ours.
do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is this: the genetics will load the gun, which is what I've got, but your lifestyle is and stress over time is what fires it. And so what's going to happen is over time with this stressful period in our world,
You think? You think we're stressed right now?
I think people are stressed.
I'll tell you, Doc. I broke down this week.
Did you?
I was home alone, thinking about our Men in Blue.
That's a movie, isn't it?
And what they're going through, what our police force is going through. And I don't know which side our viewers are on, and it doesn't matter. It's a stressful time. I need what we're talking about more than anybody, I think.
Well, the thing is, while we're talking about that, everybody needs authority, right?
Yes.
When you're raised, you need an authority. As an adult, you need an authority. And sometimes, as you get older, you realize there's certain authorities that just don't deserve to be in charge. And we do see some things that are happening, but still, we need policemen, we need firemen, we need teachers.
More than anything, we need
yes.
Jesus. Right
Yeah,
now.
that's true.
Yeah.
And so without those things, we're going to have more problems. But the prolonged stress, what's going to happen is after all this period, you're going to have kids that have been isolated, and they're going to go back to school, and they're not going to really have a lot of social skills maybe.
Yeah.
For me, I was an introvert, I was quiet, and so I didn't have a lot of social skills to begin with. But if you were to take me and isolate me, unless I had some friends or if I was by myself, if I came out, that would just be me, especially if you're going through puberty, because these kids, just a lot of mental changes and stuff like that.
Well, I'll tell you, isolation is not good for anybody.
No, man needs fellowship.
I was in one of my previous positions was I was a podcast producer at Addiction Campuses.
Uh-huh.
And the number one rule of recovery, you can't be alone. Well, it's I don't know if it's the number one rule, but it's a big rule in recovery. You can't be alone. You cannot be isolated.
Yeah. So so we talk about all these adaptations that our body can do, and if you had a stressful life, or if you've been through a stressful period in your life, and some of your coping skills would be like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. There's a lot of people that we all have coping ways to cope. Drink, smoke, drugs, food, things like that can actually over time contribute to the stress. And so what will happen is the cortisol levels go up, your body starts to develop symptoms. And so then from there you wonder, well, what's going on? And typically what's going on is inflammation is taking place, number one. Inflammation and stress over a long-term period leads to your genetics expressing themselves. And so the big killer is several things: increased blood pressure, increased blood sugar, increased insulin resistance. So what I mean is you want insulin sensitivity. So when you eat something that's got a sugar in it, specifically that's high in sugar, you want your body to be able to control your blood sugar to where it stays in a normal range. And when you have insulin resistance, either it's the pancreas that can't produce the insulin because it's burnt out, or your cells, the receptor sites for insulin, are becoming less sensitive. And so therefore we have more fat storage, loss of energy, and then comes all the issues like mental sluggishness, loss of energy. And if you have a stressor like going back to work or going back to school, you're going to have more suicides.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And so that's just how the body works. Now there's going to be a certain number of people that'll do great, but then there's going to be a certain number of people that we all love and we may have in our families that aren't going to do so good. And so I just want to encourage you. I can give you a little story on my own. I had a boy that had a lot of mental health issues, and I won't go into detail, but 24/7. He's a great kid, but it took 3 or 4 people to watch him 24/7. We watch him on shifts, and he's still that way. But when a stressor first arises, you try to figure it out for a while. Then you start asking questions. But what happens over time? You don't sleep. Then it's like you're just eating anything that's around.
Yeah.
You're not trying to eat good, healthy things. You're just eating. And so the combination of not sleeping and poor nutrition over time leads to insulin resistance, cortisol levels go up. And then after you come out of that stress cycle, you're like you're a new person.
Yeah.
But it's not a good thing. Physically, you're a new person. You have a new body, and so what will happen is you'll get fat all over your body. Okay, and you'll try to lose weight, and it's like, what the heck is going on? I can't lose weight. Just remember, your body adapted to this condition, and so it's going to have to adapt to a different lifestyle for a period of time. And so that's what people get so frustrated about. They're like, I can't lose weight. I can't. There's a lot of things. But so for example, what I'm going through right now is I've still lifted weights because that was a good outlet for me. But my sleep was poor. My sleep has gotten better. Okay. My energy was very poor. Anybody out there that has low energy can identify with this, but I would rather have severe pain than low energy, like I can't even get out of bed to go to the bathroom. That would be horrible. Now, I've never been there, but I know people that are like that. But having no energy is just really hard. Mentally, it just affects everything. So just remember that. Don't get frustrated, but understand this. If you're going through a stressful time, or you're doing things that you know are bad for your body during this time of isolation, when you come out and you all of a sudden look, hey, the sky is not falling. We've got a life that we can live again. then that's the time you got to realize, hey, it's going to be really hard to reverse these changes that my body has adapted to. But your body can adapt to it. It just takes time and consistency in doing the right things over and over and over. There's no magic trick. I wish there was.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I don't know what else we want to talk about.
Well, we need to mention the website and the contact sheet. Anybody's going through anything during this time, they can reach out. We'll get back to them.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
It's WhiteHouseChiropractic.com.
Okay, very good. You know, a couple other things that we talked about is light and darkness and health and disease. In today's society too, when you have stress, where do you go? When you have conditions of stress. Conditions of stress, dis-ease would be high blood pressure, high blood sugar, insulin resistance, obesity. Where do you go for that?
Chiropractor.
Well, I don't know about that.
It helped me.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm just saying, they typically, the vast majority of people will take medication
You're right.
for their symptoms. Okay, and I can't tell you how many people in their 50s, they're my peers that come to me and they have no energy, but they're on blood pressure medication, they're on blood sugar medication. It's basically hijacking the brain. The brain just says, hey, listen, we're low on oxygen. Either we got to increase the blood pressure or there's going to be some long-term deficits taking place. And I had a gentleman just the other day, you know, I was showing him, you know, his L4 and 5, and that goes to your legs and your toes and all that. And he grabs me aside and he says, psst, did that affect my, you know, my relations with my wife? I'm like, yes. And so, if you look at the way Viagra was discovered, they were actually using Viagra for to alter blood pressure. And they found out it improved the blood flow to the genital area. Okay?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so a healthy, if you have a healthy sex life, you have a healthy heart. That's how it works. That whole area is just a capillary bed that fills up with lots of blood. If you have poor circulation, like people with high blood pressure have, and the brain's trying to increase that blood pressure, you know, and you take a blood pressure medication, it's just going to shut it down. Cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar medication, all three of those are pretty much a lock. If you're in your mid to late 50s, it will shut down your libido. Pretty much a lock. It's a guarantee. So we're talking about light and darkness. When you turn the light on in a dark room, it drives the darkness away.
Yes.
So the problem is, in society, we are chasing darkness. We are chasing disease. We are chasing symptoms. A symptom is not a leading indicator of a health issue because it's a lagging indicator. In other words, I got dizziness and I can't see. I thought I'd go in to see the doctor.
That's like when your oil light comes on, you pull over.
Well, it's pretty much what our society has been trained
Absolutely.
to do, and it's
You're
not
right.
necessarily their fault. And so if you have a symptom and every time you have a symptom you go to the doctor and you get a drug, that is a lagging indicator. I'm going to tell you, you're not healthy.
Right.
Okay? If that continues over long term, that's a chemical stressor. Over a long period of time, this is going to lead to some serious health issues. So a better approach is to look for the light, look for the health. What is health? You know, and understand that and chase health instead of chasing disease. You know, get some blood tests done. You know, work on your nutrition. Go to a good nutritionist. Your medical doctor really doesn't get a lot of training. That's not their fault. That's just, they get trained for medications. They get trained for disease and pathology. That's what they look for, okay? Go to a health specialist that looks for health, that understands what health is. So what they'll do is they'll put a straight stick next to a crooked stick and they'll compare them. You know, bowel and bladder not working? Got it. Oh, you lost your gallbladder? Yeah, but my doctor says it's no big deal. It's a pretty big deal.
God put it in there for a reason.
Yeah, and so you'll find out they're not digesting their fats. They're not metabolizing their fats, and guess what? Fats are for hormones. So they might have issues with their hormones. They might have issues with their neurotransmitters, which are fat-based. Your nerves need fat, your brain needs fat, your organs need fat. And so, you know, that's how it works. It's a different philosophy, but if you're continually treating symptoms which are lagging health indicators, you're going to continue to get lagging health and get disease. If you get health, it drives out disease. If you're healthy, you don't get sick.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, there are times when you do get sick, and the body can adapt to that and take care of it and drive it out.
Right.
You know, so that has worked for me and my family, and it has never failed me. And I love it, but it's so sad to see people that don't understand that and are on all these medications. They have all these ailments and all these health conditions, and they're going to all these doctors and spending all this money, and their quality of life is poor.
It's terrible.
It is. So my heart goes out to people like that. But anyhow, so I don't think I have anything else. I hope that was helpful.
I think it was very needed during this time. I know it helped me just sitting here listening. So
Good. All right.
Well, we'll see you next week.
Yes. Thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, you can call us at White House Chiropractic. And looking forward to us getting out and maybe going to a church service or doing some public gatherings.
Church is back.
Getting back to normal life. So have a great day.
See ya.